Hello everybody, this is Venita from SewVeStyle, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on DIY, do-it-yourself leggings. We're going to make a pair of leggings from an existing pair that you already have. The essential tools for this project are as follows. You will need a ruler, you will need a pair of scissors, you will need pattern weights, and these you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're simply washers. You will need some chalk for marking your, tracing your pants. And then of course you will need a pair of leggings, and I would recommend you get a pair of leggings that fit you well, that you really like, because that will be the pattern we're going to use today. So I'm going to show you my leggings. These are my favorite pair. As you can see, they're well loved. They're just a basic pair of leggings. What I like about these are that they have seams on the outside and inside legs. A lot of the inexpensive leggings, you find the ones that are like less than $10. They are made from basically two pieces that are cut on the fold. And what that means is that you will not have a seam on the outside leg, just on the inside. And in my opinion, those types of leggings don't give you any support. And I just don't particularly care for them. So that's just my 2 cents. I think you should use whatever makes sense for you. So we're going to move these out of the way for now because I don't need them. And so let's take a look at the fabric. I am using some leftover fabric from another project that I worked on. This is about 1.5 yards of a stretch poly knit fabric. This fabric is also about 60 inches in width. So because it's 60 inches, it's wide. That means it's going to be easy for me to get get my pants cut out of this one piece of fabric. If it was 45 inches, it'd be a little bit different. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm laying my fabric out on the board, grabbing my leggings, and then I want to show you something that's really important, because we are not working with a pattern. We're working with a pair of leggings. We all know this, right? Pants have a front and they have a back. Now what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be cutting our pants out, and we're going to be laying it out so that we get the front and the back right, so that your pants fit you correctly. So one way to do that is you take your pants, this is the back, you fold them over, you lay them on your pattern, and the way you know you have the back is by the curve of the crotch area. I'll step back so you can see. This is the curve. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to lay these pants out, get them as straight as possible, close to the edge. This is not a cut on fold, so I'm not really worried about that right now. And what I like to do, just to check to make sure that I will have enough fabric to do both sides, I like to do a little flip. So if these are laying here, if I flip it this way, I need to make sure that I have enough fabric on the other side to complete the other part of the project, which I do. So I'm going to get I have enough, but I'm going to try to hug as close to the edge of this as possible. The other thing I like to do is check to make sure that my fabric is lined up correctly and evenly on the end, so we won't have any problems. So now the pattern weights come in. We grab the pattern weights, lay them out on the pants as so. And this will help keep the pants straight while you're cutting. Okay? Now we're going to use our chalk, and we're going to use our ruler. We're not going to start cutting yet. What I like to do is I will not trace the pants exactly, because you have to leave enough room for a seam allowance. And the seam allowance on these pants have already been subtracted because these pants have already been sewn. So since we're making this from an actual pair of pants, we have to add the seam allowance back in, right? Now, I am going to only add a 1/2 inch all the way around. And the way I like to do that, and because when I sew, I'm also going to sew that back in. So we'll make that, that becomes part. So what I'll do is take my chalk, lay this at the 1/2 inch line here, and make a little mark. What's going to happen is as I finish, I'm going to go back over this, and I'm going to connect all the dots. And you'll see this. So I'm not going to continue showing this all the way around, but you get the idea. So I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to finish tracing this back, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, now as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've traced, a 1/4. I think I said 1/2, but I think I did a 1/4 inch, all the way. I'm sorry, 1/2 inch all the way around. And so now I'm going to cut it out, and once we get it cut, I'll show you what happens next. But let's go ahead and quickly cut these out. I have a really nice pair of scissors. I first started off with, the little cheap scissors that you can get anywhere, but I found that if you pay for a nice pair of scissors, and these are Ginger scissors, by Ginger. They are heavy. They slice through fabric, multiple layers of fabric, like butter. And it's easy on your hands. So when you sew a lot and you're cutting, your hand over time will start to get sore, and your wrist and things like that. So the better the scissors are, the easier it is on you. So let's finish cutting this out. And then make sure you follow your chalk markings that you made as best you can. This doesn't have to be perfect, but just get it as good as you can on your lines. These are stretch knits, so they're very forgiving. So I wouldn't be so concerned if you're worried about your lines not being perfectly straight. I do know some of you are engineers and very analytical types. This will drive you crazy. I'm not that way. I'm fine with variability in what I'm doing. It doesn't bother me at all. So now I'm going to finish cutting this all the way around because my back is going to be to you. I'm going to stop the video right now and finish cutting. Okay, so as you can see, we've cut out the first piece of the leggings. This is the back piece. And just to make sure you remember that this is a back piece, we can take a pen and just stick it in here. It's not holding anything together. It's just to remind us that this is the back piece. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is pick up our pattern weights, set them to the side for now. We don't need them. And then we're going to do the other side of the pant. So remember, I said we had to be very careful to make sure that we left enough room on the other side to cut out the other pair of pants. So let's see if I accomplish that. So we're going to take our pants. Remember, this was the back. We're going to flip you over to get our front piece, and then the curve of the crotch area in the front. So that curve is very important. If you don't get that right, your pants are not going to be very comfortable on you. You're going to feel like, you put them on. And if you ever had a situation where you put a pair of pants on and they always slide down your butt, that's because probably there wasn't enough room left in the crotch area. when the pants were being made. So I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't need this right now. And let's pull this closer to us so that we can do the same thing with this that we did with the back piece, and that would be to line it up on the fabric, make sure you got your fabric positioned well, and then we're going to go ahead and trace it, cut it out, and then we'll be ready to sew.